What is Mountain Republic? If you could briefly explain, and why did this topic is very important for today for modernity?
The Republic of the North Caucasus. Indeed, yeah, we better, how say, hang on the, let's say, identity of this republic a little bit, because some people are calling it Mountain Republic.
Yeah.
Some people are calling it Republic of the North Caucasus. Surely, it's one thing. The name of the republic was never a mountain republic. So Mountain Republic term was given by the Soviets. So it was a republic which was established by the Bolsheviks after 1921.
Mm-hmm.
So we better not to mix that two stuff with each other. Coming back to the republic about which we're talking about, the official entity of the republic was the Union of United Highlanders of the North Caucasus.
Mm-hmm.
The Republic of the Union of United Highlanders of the North Caucasus. Yeah, it's a bit long entity. Therefore, we abbreviate it in a way saying that Republic of the North Caucasus.
Okay.
It is better to abbreviate in that way. But when we need to put strength, emphasis on the full official name, it is named as the Republic of the Union of United Highlanders of the North Caucasus. The Republic of the North Caucasus is crucial as it represents an attempt to bring together the communal culture of all Caucasian mountaineers, developed over thousands of years under the roof of a modern state. So those people lived there together for thousands of years. Why not with Alans? Alans with Kosogis, with Dikt, with Meos. So, I mean, all the ancestors of today's ethnic identities over there, they had been present over there for the thousands of years. And they developed a common way of life, common style of life, especially in the 16th, 17th, 18th century travelers or foreign mission officers. When they step in to the Caucasus, somewhere from Semez, from, let's say, Tuapse, for example, they were able to see some sort of people wearing in a style with, a tunic, half tunic with the cartridges on, on it, some daggers, etc. I mean, so yeah, they understood that that's a typical national costume of a nation. This initiative, the North Caucasian Republic, the motivation behind that initiative, in a region, as I said, in a region home to multi-ethnic and ancient cultures, need to be assessed. The truth about this period was particularly obscured during the 8-year Bolshevik regime, as I tell you. And false superstitions were propagated by those Bolsheviks. However, today, understanding and correctly analyzing the Republic of the North Caucasus even became more critical today. In order to cope with those demagogies, those polemics, etc., let's look at what those statesmen of the North Caucasus Republic wrote in those years when they found this republic, when they defend the existence of this republic at the Paris Peace Conference in 1919, 1920. So their expressions, their assessments, their statements on the international politics level at the dinner table of the walls in Paris with the president of US, George Wilson, with the French Prime Minister, Aristide Briand, and with many well-known European politicians. When these statesmen communicated their existence, they emphasized the unity of the North Caucasian people over there in such a professional way that today we really need to understand it very well. That's why we are saying that history sheds light today and for the future.
Yeah.
Today's view of the Caucasus is completely an illusionary. Let's go to details from, let's say, from a unity, from today's perspective. First of all, we must agree on one thing. Powers that do not want to lose their hegemony over the peoples of the Caucasus always employ the same tactics to prevent their unity. The formation of a single state by the peoples of the Caucasus poses the greatest threat to such powers, because Caucasus is rich of mines, rich of petroleum, overground riches, underground riches, nature, etc. Thus, they create a great amount of disinformation to discredit such a state and undermine the people's desire for it. One of the major claims is that individual small nations will not be able to develop their own existence and culture in such a state. That is, the assessment was made those great powers to undermine the people's desire for it. For example, they are saying to the Adiga people in the Western Adygea, saying that you are a minority on your land already. So if such a republic will be established, then your Chechen brothers will establish hegemony on you because they are more crowded than you. And let's say by highlighting the threat of superiority among these ethnic identities, they fuel hostilities in the Caucasus. Even, they fuel hostility between the Abkhaz and Adigu. So out of that is just to undermine the desire of the people for it and to, let's say, to put shadow on the need of such a unity. Territorial disputes. I mean, that is the centuries-old problem in the Caucasus. Territorial disputes are created among these peoples who have lived on these lands together for thousands of years. How? I mean, during the Stalinist period, the English had to leave their lands to the Ossets. I mean, before Stalin's period, there were Ossets over there, there were English over there, and they were living in peaceful atmosphere. But if I will get the land of Vitaly Shtibin from his hand from one night to the next morning, even without telling you why I'm doing that, and I give it to someone else, to your neighbor, and will say that, Vitaly, sorry, this land is no longer belonging to you, but I give it to your neighbor. Then, if you cannot fight against me, if you are not so powerful to fight against me, what you will do, then your hostilities will be fueled towards your neighbor. And that's what had happened over there. However, available archival documents regarding the political activities of the emigre groups provide extremely clear and compelling information about the nature of Caucasian federalism during the foundation phase of the Republic and interwar period. Therefore, we don't need to discover America once again. It was long ago, was achieved by Christoph Columb and Americo Vespucci. So, I mean,
Yeah, of course.
no need to discover these lands once again. The people who wants to understand Caucasian federalism accurately, correctly, they must have a look of all these, let's say, legitimate documentation of those the Republic of
History.
North Korea. They had a chance to meet President Wilson in Paris. There was no other person rather than Hyder Bomat who was able to get into that meeting room with President Wilson. So, yeah, I mean, Hyder Bomat educated himself. Story. They are saying that they have no certain parliamentary structure. However, that's completely wrong. The North Caucasian Republic had a lower house where all peoples were represented in a parliament based on their population proportions, with a ratio of one deputy per every 30,000 people, and an upper house, like a senate in the modern sense, with an equal number of provincial representatives. Therefore, in the lower house, every nation sends their representatives on the ratio of one deputy per every 30,000 people. But in Senate, in the upper house, the number of representatives are equal. Every nation, if it's two or three, I don't recall it exactly, every nation has got equal representatives over there. Therefore, the lower house designs, creates the legislations, the laws, etc., transfers for confirmation to the upper house, and upper houses uh, approach in loyalizing or confirming the legislation or the law is just based on if that legislation is good for common existence of the republic or not. It's like also in the legal procedures, there are courts and there are supreme courts. So it was all settled. It was all formalized. Yeah, I mean, if that republic had the chance to survive, if it was not invaded by the Bicherovists, by Denikin, by Bolsheviks, or if they didn't have some petty calculations among each other for Zakatala, for Abkhazia, for Cuba, etc. Yeah, I mean,
They could.
today
They could.
we could have a very strong Caucasian confederation over there, which could be the Switzerland of the Caucasus, rich of mines, rich of petroleum, rich of natural sources. Yeah, it would be the Switzerland of Caucasus.
Equal identity, like state identity.
Switzerland.
Yeah.
Look at Switzerland. In the North Caucasian Union can have a bit enough power to negotiate with the super powers. Otherwise, I mean, those outside councils, fake councils established somewhere in Kiev, or some monuments in Anaklia, or whatsoever. I mean, what if today, if Germany will recognize the Circassian genocide in their parliament? What if? What it will change? Nothing. Nothing. There is no power on the Moscow administration to change their attitude, to change their imperialist attitude. So, I mean, from the scratch, the Caucasian people must leave aside all details, all those distracting details, and must look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is very simple. A multi-ethnic, a strong confederational statehood, which will make the residents of that territory able to speak their future generations for future benefits on the dinner table of the walls.
Mhm.
Otherwise, these walls will
Right.
enjoy them at the dinner.